Sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. At your service with news for Southwest Louisiana. This is 7 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Agnes Derwin. We're keeping an eye on the forecast for the next several days across Southwest Louisiana. We want to go right now to meteorologist Ben Terry with our first alert forecast.
That's right, Agnes. And of course, the winds again becoming problematic this afternoon. We've been looking at our Skycam all morning here downtown. We've been clocking gusts 45, close to 50 miles an hour since about 10 a.m. So if you're driving those high-profile vehicles, especially on the bridges, you're going to have some difficulties because of the direction they're coming out of the southeast if you're driving east to west. And looking at the Skycam now, you can see the flag there is definitely, well, about as far stretched as it can get on top of the courthouse this morning. And, of course, the Skycam jostling around. 46-mile-an-hour gusts now at the airport, 35 in DeQuincy. The sustained wind now in Lake Charles, 30 miles an hour. Here it is on the radar. Of course, we're still tracking showers, but it's hugging right along the Sabine River. That's where we're looking at, where we now have flash flood warnings out for the western portion of Vernon Parish. That's going to be for areas from Leesville westward, because these storms are moving over the same areas. They're not really moving eastward. So for folks who are seeing the rain now, if you live along the Sabine River, you're going to continue to see it. This flash flood warning is out for you until 4:30 this afternoon. Showers down along the Sabine River. Some of this, though, is going to make its push our direction, talking about Lake Charles proper and vicinity, because we've got more rain developing out over the Gulf of Mexico, all moving toward the north. So come later this afternoon, possibly even into this evening, we could be talking about another round of rain stretching into our area. And depending on how quickly it moves and if it stalls, there's still a threat that we could see some flooding, so we can't dismiss that. I'll have more on that forecast ahead, including more rain expected tomorrow and for Friday coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot to you, Ben. Vernon Parish Public Schools will dismiss today at half-day due to potential for bad weather. Half-day times vary with each school. Buses will be there to take the students home. School officials will continue to monitor the weather developments in case they have to make any other adjustments for tomorrow. But as it stands now, that dismissal is only for today in Vernon Parish. A Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Lake Charles closed at noon today due to the threat of inclement weather. We've got all the latest on closures and cancellations posted for you through our KPLC 7 News mobile app. With the potential for severe weather, it's important to make sure you're prepared. Several areas in southwest Louisiana flood easily with heavy rains. And KPLC's Erica Ferrando joins us live from the intersection of Enterprise and Prion Lake Road with a live look at the weather conditions now.
Hey, Agnes, well, clearly right now it's not raining, and of course there's no flooding yet, but I can tell you the wind is extremely high right now. And I spoke with Dick Gremion. He's the director of the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, and he says this intersection right here is what experiences the worst of the flooding when we do get those heavy rains in Lake Charles. Every time roads floods, several drivers will stall their vehicles because they underestimate how deep the water is. So don't drive through any flooded roads that you may experience later today or later this week. You also need to be mindful of the high winds and make sure anything that could come loose is secure. Gremion says homeowners should also make sure their ditches and storm drains are clear to help with drainage.
If we get 3 to 5 inches of rain quickly in the Lake Charles and Sulphur, Westlake area, we're going to have street flooding in those areas. Another thing that's going to happen, there is predicted to be a moderate to major flood on the Calcasieu River system, as well as some flooding over on the Sabine. I think people who live along those waterways need to pay attention to the river forecast. By Saturday or Sunday, they could be pretty high, and that's resulting from all the rain that happened north of us.
And in preparation for some potential floods later on, you can get sandbags. There are several locations. One location is at the Public Works Maintenance Barns, and we have a full list of locations throughout the 5-parish area where you can get those sandbags on your 7 News mobile app. And if you are going to be out on the roads today, make sure to give yourself extra time and be extra cautious, not just because of the rain later on, but also because of these high winds. After service, Erica Ferrando, KPLC 7 News.
Thanks a lot for that report, Erica. Now, new video just in minutes ago shows just how bad the flooding has gotten in some parts of Shreveport, with roads looking like rushing rivers. Lines of cars as people try to get sandbags, as traffic in Caddo Parish backed up for miles. It's just part of major flooding happening in North Louisiana over the last 24 hours. Overnight floodwaters forced the evacuation of dozens of homes in other parts of North Louisiana. Deputies went door to door to about 30 homes in the city of Houghton in Bossier Parish. Officers had to use boats and high water rescue vehicles to reach some people. There are no reports of anyone missing or injured. An emergency shelter has been set up for families displaced by the rising water. Overnight, 20 people were evacuated from some Shreveport apartments. Some had to be rescued by fire and police pulled to higher ground by boat. Those evacuated were taken to a nearby church. And take a look at some of the incredible flooding pictures from North Louisiana posted on Facebook by the DOTD. Drivers are encouraged to check the status of road conditions prior to beginning commutes to impacted area. Troop D spokesman Sergeant James Anderson says he's been in touch with state police in the Shreveport area where many roadways are impassable.
Just got off the phone with our public information officer in the Shreveport area. They've received 9.5 inches in the last 24 hours. There's quite a bit of highway flooding that's taking place. I-20 is down to one lane at milepost 35 and milepost 55. We're hopeful that we won't experience those same things here, but it's important that people remain aware of what's going on and be prepared just in case.
Anderson says for highway information in other parts of the state, you can either call 511 or access online by going to 511la.org. Well, we have some breaking news out of Lake Charles. Police are at the scene of a possible bank robbery. You're looking at a live picture from the scene. Police say so far no arrests have been made. There's no further details yet, but we'll continue to keep you updated through the KPLC 7 News mobile app. This is on Highway 14 at the bank there. And the Calcasieu School Board will soon send a letter to state lawmakers asking for a new program that would help put talented teachers in classrooms. It's an incentive program for college students who are pursuing degrees in education. More than 300 groups opposed to cuts in funding for Louisiana's coast are urging President Obama to reconsider a plan with offshore oil money. The Mississippi River Delta Coalition is now opposing the president's plan to redirect that money. It takes millions of years for the earth to naturally produce oil, but a group of undergraduate students at McNeese State University are trying to imitate and expedite the process in a lab. These future engineers are currently researching ways to make oil in real time. They're using local waste like sugarcane bagasse and crawfish casings to test their theory.
That is certainly the aim of the research, that someday things like waste residues, especially, things like sugarcane bagasse, things like casings from crustaceans, could be made into oil. The real delivery in the shorter term is a better understanding of how oil is made.
KPLC's Liz Coe breaks down their research tonight on Nightcast. An American tourist is stabbed to death, 10 others wounded by a Palestinian armed with a knife in Israel. It happened in Tel Aviv yesterday, just as Vice President Joe Biden had arrived in Israel for meetings with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. The American killed was identified as 29-year-old Taylor Force, a Vanderbilt University student and U.S. Army veteran. The stabbing spree was one of 3 attacks by Palestinians across Israel in just over an hour and a half. The vice president says the U.S. stands firmly behind Israel's right to defend itself. He also sent his condolences to the victims' families. 9 firefighters were hurt and 2 buildings destroyed in an overnight natural gas explosion in Seattle. They are all hospitalized in satisfactory condition with cuts, bruises, and burns. Officials say crews were already on the scene working a different fire when the explosion occurred. Fire crews say the explosion was likely caused by a natural gas leak. Against heavy odds, Bernie Sanders pulled off an upset in Michigan's Democratic primary. Hillary Clinton won big in Mississippi. Clinton and Sanders debate tonight in Miami. Donald Trump won 3 out of 4 primaries yesterday. Ted Cruz won Idaho. The Cruz campaign received a boost earlier today, picking up the endorsement from former candidate Carly Fiorina. With a deadline to fix the budget looming by 6 this evening, state lawmakers still have several issues to iron out before producing a plan that combines cuts and tax increases. But at this point, the legislature remains short of enough revenue to rebalance the budget without steep cuts. Among the measures passed, Louisiana's sales tax goes up by a penny starting April 1st. The cigarette tax raises the price of a pack by 86 cents to $1.08. There will be a charge on hotel rooms booked through short-term rental sites like Airbnb. A car rental tax was reinstated. Lawmakers renewed a phone tax set to expire April 1st. And the alcohol tax will be increased on liquor, wine, and beer. Well, we're talking about restraining orders and legal malpractice questions up next. Attorney Jania Lee Coleman Lee with the Southwest Louisiana Law Center joins us for our Legal Corner next.
Tonight at 8/7 Central, see why America can't get enough.
You are my dream come true.
Of The Voice blind auditions.
Your voice already has all the herbs and spices.
He just compared your voice to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The Voice, tonight at 8/7 Central on NBC.
Any man who gives his wife a car with a big bow on it is probably cheating. Oh. Those Lexus Christmas commercials are darker than you think.
The Carmichael Show premieres Sunday with a special preview tonight after The Voice on NBC.
If I get in a car wreck, I'm calling Morris Bart. 477-4600.
Injured in a car wreck? You know what to do. Just call 477-4600 or Google Morris Bart. One call, that's all.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can bring the biggest smiles and also allergies. Lake Charles Urgent Care, 1905 Country Club and 2400 Ryan Street.
Turn your loving on and try something crazy good. I'm all about new hot stuff. Makes me crinkle inside. Bet you never tasted flavor this big. Insane, right?
Only Rallies and Checkers is crazy enough to offer 2 huge Alaskan cod fillets boxed with fries for just $2. Reel in 2 huge beer-battered authentic Alaskan cod fillets with our famous seasoned fries and irresistible dill tartar sauce. Get hooked for just $2. Only at Rallies and Checkers.
Epic meals, epic deals.
We want to bring you some breaking news at this moment. We're being told Axial in Westlake is being evacuated. That's being confirmed by state police. This is a live look from our Westlake Skycam. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt is on the scene right now and reports Calcasieu Parish OEP Director Dick Grimion is also on the scene. We are going to bring you further details as they become available. Once again, this is a live look at the Axial plant where Teresa Schmidt is trying to find out what is going on at this moment. Well, right now we want to talk about our legal questions, and Jania Coleman-Lee with the Southwest Louisiana Law Center joins us now for today's Legal Corner. We want to get to our first question. What's going on today? Are you contacted ahead of time before receiving a temporary restraining order?
Well, Agnes, advance contact is usually required, but there are situations where temporary restraining orders may be issued with no advance notice. Now, in these circumstances, there must be the threat or harm of irreparable injury that will happen to the person who's applying for the restraining order. If the applicant does apply for a restraining order without notice, then it's important that we notify the court of the other side intentions to seek a restraining order, or that there will be irreparable harm if the restraining order is not issued. However, a restraining order can be granted without notice when it is clearly specific that it's immediate harm that we're trying to prevent.
Have more on this on our website, so that if you missed any of that, you can do that. Correct. Now to our next question: can malpractice claims be filed against lawyers?
Yes, we certainly can be sued.
I like how she said that.
Yes, we can be sued. If your attorney made serious errors, you may consider suing your lawyer for malpractice. Unfortunately, it is very hard to win a malpractice case, because malpractice means that the lawyer failed to use the ordinary skill and care that would be used by any other lawyer in handling your specific problem or case. Now, there are 4 instances of 4 criteria that must be proven in the event there is a malpractice case. You must prove there was a duty owed by the attorney. You must show that the attorney breached that duty, and as a result of that duty, you suffered loss. And therefore, the loss that you suffered was financial, and but for the attorney's breach of that duty, you would have really won the case. And also, the defendant had the ability to pay the fees or pay for the damages. So you can sue your attorney, but it is very difficult to win and prevail in a lawsuit against malpractice with an attorney.
All right, all of these answers can be found on our website. Before we get away from there, that's a lovely pin there, Jania.
I wanted to give it to you, but you refused to accept.
I know, I can't take all things of beauty, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we would love for all the folks to participate in our Wednesday Legal Corner. You can email your questions to news@kplctv.com, civil matters only. You'll also find a link to the Southwest Louisiana Law Center on our website. It's again, thanks to Jania. We love having her here. And now we want to talk about our weather, because we're not really loving what we're seeing outside.
No, the winds are really becoming quite quite a problem here across southwest Louisiana. Here are the current wind speeds and gusts right now measured at the airport, 30 miles an hour. The gusts now at 46. And we've been clocking gusts on our Skycam on Westlake on top of the island pretty over 50 miles an hour. So be extremely careful if you're out driving on this afternoon. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about rain and have more on your forecast coming up after this. Stay with us.
Louisiana has a tempo all its own. It's in the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we cook. It's in the sweet drizzle of time unfolding beautifully like a flower. So savor what's in front of you. Discover the new Rosewater Grill and Tavern at Delta Downs.
Your family deserves the best, and Conn's Yes Money Financing helps you get it. We say yes, even when others say no. Go to cons.com from your computer or mobile phone to get approved in minutes.
Heart attack warning signs aren't always this obvious. Know the signs. If you experience them, call 911 because every minute matters. And know that Lake Area Medical Center is here when you need us.
I'm John Jeffcoat of Galloway Jeffcoat. An accident only takes seconds to occur. The injuries may last a lifetime. The lawyer you hire today may well determine your tomorrow. Do the right thing and call us or visit GallowayJeffcoat.com.
The Spring Black Friday sale is this weekend at Stein. We're in full bloom with better brands and lower prices. Like assorted 4-inch annuals, only 99 cents. 5 bags of cypress-colored mulch for $10 and decorate with 12-inch patio stone, 89 cents each. Fertilize your yard with Scott's Bonus S, pay $19.78 and get an additional $5 after mail-in rebate. Pay $14.99 for a 42-inch Craftsman riding mower and get a free dump cart. See our tabloid for store-wide savings during the Stein Spring Black Friday sale. Better brands and lower prices only at Stein.
Louisiana has a tempo all its own, like the sweet drizzle of time unfolding beautifully like a flower. Because life is absolutely delicious. Savor what's in front of you. Discover the new Rosewater Grill and Tavern at Delta Downs.
From the 7 Storm Team, your first alert weather with meteorologist Ben Terry.
77 degrees warm, but of course, like we said, going into the break, those winds are really the main concern at this hour. 30 out of the south-southeast, but they're gusting to 45, and that has been consistent really since about 10 a.m. We've had these winds really gusting 40, 50 miles an hour across southwest Louisiana. So that's going to continue to cause sporadic power outages, just like we had yesterday with these winds right now gusting to 35 in Quincy, 30 Cameron, 26 there in DeRidder, and 33 in Jennings. Like we said, very warm across all of southwest Louisiana, now at those mid to upper 70s. Of course, the fuel for those thunderstorms that we're seeing, part of that are those warmer temperatures, and we're seeing those continue to climb. So we might have more of this type of activity continuing into this afternoon. In fact, thunderstorms now rolling up the Sabine River. A flash flood warning will be out until 4:30 for the western slice here of Vernon Parish from the Leesville area all the way to the Sabine River. Rain just continues to train over these same areas, and that's why the warning is out until 4:30. Now, we will likely see some of these begin to push off toward the east, although there's not a lot on radar now near Beaumont. But if we back out the view a bit, there's storms building west of Houston. There's a complex of rain here out in the Gulf of Mexico. All of this will likely congeal somewhere here in the vicinity of southwest Louisiana later this afternoon, possibly into the evening. So while we aren't getting rain currently in Lake Charles, there's plenty around us, and there's still plenty of potential for there to be heavy rain later today and into tonight. So a flash flood watch continues through Thursday here for all of South Louisiana for that potential, and of course that's a warning up into Vernon Parish. Upper level low not going anywhere. That's why we can't dismiss this possibility of more rain tomorrow and into Friday. Until this upper low moves out, we're going to be looking at this moist flow off the Gulf of Mexico, and that is going to trigger these numerous rounds and complexes of storms that could develop at any point over the Gulf waters and lift north. Like right now, we're seeing this afternoon on our Futurecast, perhaps rain crossing over closer to Lake Charles. There will be some areas that don't see a whole lot of rain, especially east of Lake Charles. We're keeping that swath of the heaviest rain forecast right along the Sabine River. Then as we go into Thursday, It's looking like we might have another round developing at some point tomorrow morning, pushing through. Likely get a break, though, unless that stalls out, which is also a possibility. Then for Friday, look at that. Another wave of rain moving in off the Gulf. So we're going to look for still multiple rounds of rain between now and Saturday before all of this begins to clear out, because it won't be really until Saturday that this big upper-level low finally pulls north, and that's going to take the energy away. Keep in mind, this is what's driving all of the rain, and it's just basically sitting here over northern Mexico. So by Saturday into Sunday, that's going to lift north, and we will see things begin to clear out. But again, I'm not changing much on this map. We're still going to go with as much as 10 inches of rain there along the Sabine River, especially in these areas that have already picked up several inches from yesterday, and between that and now, and keeping the 5 to 8, keeping in mind this is through Saturday now, so we may likely see some rain into Saturday. Totals will be adding up at that point. So the bottom line, no, it will not rain continuously. Yes, the threat for flooding cannot be dismissed, and there will be areas that do not flood, but the potential is there, especially areas along and west of Lake Charles that should be paying close attention to the weather over these next few days for that potential. So for today, 75 southeast winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour. There could be some flash flooding possible even into tonight, as some of that rain could stall out, a lot like what we had last night in the Shreveport area. Really hard to tell, though, exactly who will see that heaviest rain, but the potential is there. Tomorrow for more rain, Friday more rain, and then for Saturday, clearing out just in time for losing that hour of sleep Saturday night.
Oh,
and set those clocks
I
ahead
had
on
forgotten
Sunday.
about that.
Yeah, it's coming up.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben. Well, a few minutes can save a life. Next, the benefits of bystander CPR when we come back.
The Weather Watcher Network is sponsored by Mark Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Larry's Old Time Trade Days takes place this weekend at their amazing marketplace located in Winnie. You'll find everything from rare antiques to delicious food while checking out the countless magnificent vendors. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here.
I drive by accidents all the time. I never thought it would happen to me. I'm a safe driver. I've seen Morris Bart commercials on TV. So I searched the web, found the number, and called right away.
Craig was injured in a car wreck and needed help fast. He called us and we went to work immediately.
I called Morris Bart, and his team got me $200,000.
Injured in a car wreck? You know what to do. Just call 477-4600 or Google Morris Bart. One call, that's all.
Palm Sunday.
The reason I came into this world was to testify the truth.
Consolata Cemetery presents the live Stations of the Cross gospel drama, Sunday, March 20th, 3 p.m.
Crucify him with the spike.
Bring your family to experience this special event. The live Stations of the Cross at Consolata Cemetery, Palm Sunday, March 20th, 3 p.m.
Right now at Market Basket, buy Swift bone-in one-in pork chops, 3 pounds or more, 99 cents a pound. Skinner elbow macaroni or spaghetti, 12 ounce, 4 for $1. Now that's a lower price.
The Martell family invites you to come celebrate with us our 40th anniversary at Casa Manana. Come join us at Lake Charles and Sulphur.
KPLCconnections.com, your link to Southwest Louisiana. The 7-Storm Team Skycam Network is sponsored by Billy Navarre. With quick service and low prices, we challenge any dealer in America to beat. The 7 News Stock Market Report is sponsored by Sam A. Bear Financial Group. Perhaps we should talk.
Right now we have an update to that Axial evacuation we mentioned earlier. We are now being told Interstate 10 in Westlake is being shut down. That's being confirmed by the Calcasieu Office of Emergency Preparedness. OEP also confirms Axial South is being evacuated due to some sort of chemical release. There is no shelter in place as of right now. Now this is a live look from our Westlake Skycam, and we have some there. You can see some of the information on the screen where Axial is being evacuated. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt is on the scene right now. Stick with KPLC on air, on mobile, and online for the latest developments. Right now we have OEP Director Dick Grimia on the phone. Dick, can you tell us what's happening right now?
Yeah, they had, Axial's had a power failure in 2 of their units. They have a shelter in place and some evacuations going on inside the plant, but the readings indicate there's no off-site impact at this point.
All right. Tell us about the road closures, because we heard something about some roads were being shut down.
The roads are not closed. That was early information. The roads are not closed at this point.
Okay, so everything is open.
You will see some emergency vehicles out there, and they may be directing some people to some different places, but Interstate 10 is not closed at this point.
All right, and once again, we want to maybe reiterate the fact that there's no off-site problems as of now.
Right. They've sheltered in place and evacuated some of the employees inside the facility, but the readings indicate there's nothing of any concern going off-site right now.
Okay, so no word on what that substance may have been?
It's not clear at this point. They're working on that. We'll let you know as soon as we find out what the product is.
And as we wrap things up, what would folks really need to know about this situation as far as motorists and people in the vicinity?
Well, if you don't have to travel by here, it'd be good. But as of right now, everything's safe for traveling down the roads right now.
All right. We want to thank you, Dick. I know that there's a lot going on right now. We appreciate you joining us for this noon.
Yeah, the wind's blowing at quite a high rate of speed, which really helps out on a situation like this.
All right. For once, we hear something good about the high winds. All right. Thank you, Dick. All right.
Yes,
Once again, he wants to reiterate that we first thought that there were some roads being closed, but the roads are open. There is only a shelter in place within the Axiol plant itself. There is some sort of substance that was being released, but they're saying that there's no danger to the folks around there. We will, of course, keep you updated. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt is on the scene right now, so you can stick with KPLC on air, on mobile, and online for the latest developments. Once again, if you don't have to be traveling in that area, don't do so. I mean, there is a situation there, but as we're hearing now, the roads are open. Nothing is causing any major situation at the plant, except that they do have a couple of power outages that sparked some kind of an incident there at Axiol. Well, when we come back, we will have Ben's last check of our forecast, so stay with us.
Attention, if you're 50 years or older, this message is for you. Millions of Americans were exposed to asbestos working in factories, oil fields, refineries, shipyards, paper mills, and other jobs prior to 1982. You may have been exposed and not even know. If you or a family member worked anywhere near asbestos, you may have been exposed and qualify for cash compensation. Schedule your free health test today. Call 855-579-5299 or go to krwlawyers.com.
The blueprints for your new home are your dreams on paper, and you're eager to turn those dreams into reality. City Savings Bank is just as eager to provide you with a construction loan so you can start that foundation and raise that roof. Your construction loan gets the job done. Then City Savings Bank comes through with just the right mortgage to make this house your home. It's time to move in, and those blueprints remind you how easy City Savings Bank made the whole process.
KPLC completes a quarterly report on the children's educational and informational programming aired on the station during the previous quarter. This children's television programming report details each program that was broadcast, which has a significant purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children ages 16 and under. This report is available in our station's online public inspection file at www.fcc.gov.
To hit us from the rear doing 65 miles an hour. Money has no big value with me. I'm not curious about that. It's the welfare of my family. And that's why I was so comfortable with Michael Cox. He never stressed large amounts of settlements and stuff like that. He always talked about our health and caring from the word go. And I liked that a lot about it. Yeah, I really did.
Call us for a free consultation or visit us at coxphilo.com.
All right, we want to talk about the weather as we quickly close this show out.
We're going to be looking at the radar this afternoon. Storms off to our west. Flash flood warning for western Vernon Parish till 4:30, and more rain possible later this afternoon into the evening for areas especially from Lake Charles to the west.
All right, we want to tell you that we are following the story over there at Axiol. Possible bank robbery here in Lake Charles. Lots of things going on. Keep in mind that this is a scene, live shot from Axiol. We'll tell you more about that on our KPLC mobile app and on our website. Cynthia and Wade will be back here for Live at 5. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.